Hey, lovers. Welcome to the Book Lovers Club, the podcast where we celebrate Black Sapphic love stories, one book at a time. I'm your host, Joy, a married lesbian, lifelong book lover, and relational communication scholar. Here, we don't just read the romance, we learn from it. I believe that love stories can do more than just entertain us. They can teach us how to love better, how to see ourselves more clearly, and how to create the love life of our dreams. Each week, I'll dive into sapphic stories written for us and by us, while weaving in personal insights and communication lessons you can take off the page. So grab your drink, get cozy, and let's turn the page together. Welcome to the club. Welcome back to another episode of the Book Lovers Club. And I am so excited, y'all, because this is the 10th episode of the Book Lovers Club. The 10th episode, okay? I'm so excited because I'm so proud that I've been doing this for 10 weeks, okay? I've been yapping at y'all about books for 10 weeks, and it's a celebration, baby. All right? We done surpassed 200 streams. I've had 2 in-person book club meetings. I done made some new friends. I've been reading some amazing books. My subscribers to my newsletter have gone up, and I've been doing the damn thing, okay? I'm proud of myself. A lot of people talk about doing things and then never quite get to the point of doing the thing. And not only am I doing the thing, I'm having a lot of fun doing it as well. Okay. And it's a learning curve. I'm getting better at my audio editing and just being consistent with putting out the content. I've been seeing increase in followers and engagement on my socials, and people are actually listening to me, it still blows my mind that people are listening to me. I don't have any episodes where ain't nobody listened to it at all, okay? And an episode of mine that was my lowest performing has surpassed all of my episodes. So episode 2, Kiss It Better, has the most streams out of all of my episodes. And it's very surprising because that was the one that was lagging behind, okay? But I am just so excited for the growth and opportunity that I found in this space. And the fact that I'm just having so much fun doing this is the cherry on top. Okay. But I am 10 episodes in. And this week, we're actually in between books. So I had my book club meeting on Sunday. And I wanted to talk to the book club first before announcing the next book because I wanted them to weigh in and wanted them to vote on which book they wanted to read. And we actually had some developments on that front that I wanted to talk to y'all about. But we'll recap the book club meeting today and the direction that I'm going to be moving in. And then we'll get into some more just talking about the art of things versus doing things for profit and creativity. But I'm going out of town this week, so I didn't want to start a new book as I'm going out on vacation because I want to be able to actually relax. It's been a very stressful start of the academic year for me. Okay. It's been a lot going on, especially with all of the ICE and immigration issues that we've been experiencing in the city and how that intersects with like working with students and me being in the education field. And it's just a lot of things going on politically and in our community. So I'm really looking forward to an opportunity to kind of rest and reset and unwind and love up on my wife. Okay, so although I will be reading, me and Miss Kendalisha go together real bad, which y'all know because I was reading her and reading deep in the casino. Okay, so me and Miss Kendalisha go together real bad. So y'all know I'm gonna be reading on the plane. I'm probably gonna read before bed. Either way, I'm taking my books with me. However, I don't want any pressure to be reading books and trying to make content and things like that while I'm on this trip because I really do need a vacation and just want to unwind. That's why I chose Savannah. So we're going to Savannah, Georgia for Halloween. And I love that city. I love how slow it is compared to Chicago and how friendly it is. And I just want to sit on a bench in the park and just look at the trees. Okay. I, I want to get some sleep. I want to get some sleep. I just want to rest and relax, eat some good food, and just chill outside for a little bit because it's already starting to get cold here and it's getting dark much earlier. So it's warmer in the south And I just want to be able to go and just get this little dose of vitamin D to carry with me and help me get through this next wave of cold weather and the darkness that is falling upon us. All right. So, yeah, I don't want any pressure to have to keep up with books and reading and things for content and stuff. So, but I will be reading. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I will have books with me, but that is not going to be the focus of my trip. All right. So, this episode, we're just going to kind of talk about just some housekeeping things and what to expect moving forward now that I've had my second in person book club meeting and just some of the creative changes that I'm making on the podcast moving forward and for the book club and for people who are interested in still joining the in person book club and what that will look like moving forward. And then we'll go from there. Okay. But I apologize in advance if little baby is yapping for the whole episode because I am a yapper and I have a lot to yap about. Okay. So, first, let's recap the book club meeting. So, our meeting was on Sunday and it was so good. Like the conversation just flowed from the moment people walked in the door until the moment that we left. All right. And I made friends. Like these people are turning into my friends. We had someone new attend this meeting, and it's a small world. Chicago is such a big city, but it is so small. So her wife actually went to high school with my wife, and they played basketball together. And she's one of my sorority sisters. So we found out this connection through talking, and I'm like, wait a minute, so your wife is my soror and she knew my wife in high school? And then we find out they didn't just know each other, they played basketball together. So it's a small world. So I'm like, girl, we about to start double dating because she got good taste in books. She started listing books. I'm like, yep, read that. Yep, read that. So she made some recommendations to me. So yeah, I done made a little friend, okay? And we were already talking on social media, on TikTok. So then she came to the book club meeting and the vibe was good in person. So I'm excited to meet other queer women through this venture. Not only queer women, but queer women who are book lovers, okay? And other married lesbians. So I am just having a time, okay? But the book club was great. The conversations were great. However, I was surprised that people didn't like the book like I did. So the book club members, pretty much everybody said they gave This Poison Heart a 3 out of 5. And I was startled, shocked. Okay, because this book was a solid 5-star for me. I was locked in from the moment I opened the book until the moment I closed it. That book was so good. And I enjoyed talking to y'all about it. Okay. I just knew that they were gonna want to read the sequel. But everybody said they pretty much don't want to read the sequel. They don't want to continue with the story. But I am. I want to know what's happening next. That book ended on such a crazy cliffhanger. I just can't leave the story there. I need to know what happened. Do she save her mama? Did she befriend Carter again? What's happening with her and Marie? How is Mo handling everything that happened? Like, I just got too many unresolved issues that I really need to know what's going on. So I am going to be reading the sequel. Okay, one of the book club girlies, she had already read the sequel. Okay, she flew through the book too, and she's a teacher. So she got her students reading the book. And I'm like, see, I knew I wasn't crazy. This book is good. But what you might like, somebody else might hate. Art is subjective. Okay, so what I enjoy, other people may not like. So the book club did ask if we could just focus on adult books. They need books with spice, books with adult characters. So they don't want to read any more young adult books. However, I am a fan of young adult books. I can't make any promises that I won't be reading any young adult books in the future on this podcast. So, what I am going to do moving forward is that I will be talking about 2 books a month on air. So the book club, they vote on their books that they read. And I want to continue to discuss those books on air because they're Black Sapphic books. It's on brand. It's my book club. Started all this. Okay. So we're going to have the book club pick, the one that they vote on. And then I will read that with the book club and we will discuss it on air per usual. And then we will have my pick. All right. I will choose whatever book I want as long as it's Black and Sapphic because it's some really good young adult books out there that I enjoy. And I like bringing books to the table and introducing y'all to new things. And I can't promise that I won't ever choose a young adult book because I like them. And I like This Poison Heart. So I want to read the sequel and I want to talk about it on air. So I'm going to have my pick and they will have their pick. And therefore, we will be reading 2 books a month for this podcast moving forward and discussing them on air. Also, I've gotten feedback that some people would like more books to read each month. They're moving through the book pick so fast. They're like, can we read more books together each month? So I think the 2 books a month we'll start with. That's, easy to manage. Some people read slower. So the 1 book a month was working for them. Okay. And some people are like, look, I need extras. So I think this is a nice happy medium, okay, where they have a book that they chose. I chose a second book. For the people who read faster, they can read the 2 books with me. I will be discussing them on air per usual. And then that's it. Because one of the young adult books I love was If We Were a Movie. That book is so good. Okay, so like I said, I can't promise y'all that I won't choose any more young adult books because some of them are really good and I like that genre. So as long as the book is black and sapphic, then I might choose it to read, okay? So with that, the book club did vote. And the book that we are going to be reading for November is Flirting Lessons by Jasmine Guillory. All right? So that's Flirting Lessons by Jasmine Guillory. I think that's how you pronounce that woman's last name. I apologize if it is not, okay? However, I read the description of this book on the back. Everybody shot their hand up like, yes, we want to read that book because we voted on 5 different books. Because remember, I told y'all I was thinking about A Little Kiss in Between Friends, but they did not vote for that one. That book actually got no votes. So we might read it in the future, but nobody wanted to read it for November. Okay? So, but I will read the description for y'all for Flirting Lessons so y'all can know what it's about. And then you go buy your book or, get it through Kindle or wherever it's available. I actually don't know if it's on Kindle Unlimited, but we do our book club meetings at the library. So most of the people in my book club are getting their books through the library, and Flirting Lessons is a book that the library has. So some people were getting their books that way. So, however you choose to get your book, whether you're purchasing it, getting it through the library, listening to it on Audible, get your book prepared because we're going to be reading this one for November and I will be discussing it on the pod. Okay. And you can join Fable. So we still have the virtual book club for those of you who want to participate that way. Also, if you join my Patreon, my backstage pass does come with a virtual book club meeting that is on Zoom to discuss the books. So we got multiple ways for you to participate and get some community and engagement and discuss these books with us. So you could choose through those options. But yeah, you can still join Fable. Otherwise, we got the in-person book club meetings. And like I said, you could join my Zoom by purchasing one of my backstage passes on Patreon. All right. And links to everything that you would ever need is on my website. All right. So here's the Flirting Lessons description. All right. So Avery Jensen is almost 30, fresh off a breakup, and tired of always being so uptight and well behaved. She wants to get a hobby, date around, especially women, flirt with everyone she sees, wear something not from the business casual section of her closet, all the fun stuff normal people do in their 20s. One problem: Avery doesn't know where to start. She doesn't have a lot of dating experience with men or women, and despite being self-assured at work, she doesn't have a ton of confidence when it comes to romance. Enter Taylor Cameron, Napa Valley's biggest flirt and champion heartbreaker. Taylor just broke up with her most recent girlfriend, and her best friend bet her that she can't make it to Labor Day without sleeping with someone. So Taylor offers to give Avery flirting lessons. It should keep her busy and stop her from texting people she shouldn't. And it might take her mind off how inadequate she feels compared to her friends, who all seem much more settled and adult than Taylor. At first, Avery is stiff and nervous, but Taylor is patient and encouraging. And soon, Avery is looking forward to their weekly lessons. With Taylor's help, Avery finally has the life she's always wanted. The only issue is now she wants Taylor too. Their attraction becomes impossible to ignore, despite their both insisting to themselves and everyone that this isn't serious. When Taylor is forced to confront her feelings for Avery, she doesn't know what to do. And most important, if she's already ruined the best thing she's ever had. So I read that description in the book club meeting and hands shot up. Yeah, we want to read that book, babes. So Flirting Lessons is our November book pick. However, we are also going to read This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Bayron because I need to know where the story went. Okay? We can't leave it at This Poison Heart because that cliffhanger was crazy. So we're reading 2 books for the month of November. This Poison Heart sequel, This Wicked Fate. So, and This Poison Heart is a duology. That's the first book in the series, and This Wicked Fate is the second book in the series, so it's a duology. So the story will wrap up after this second book. And then we're reading Flirting Lessons. So get y'all's books, your audio books, your ebooks, your paperback, whatever you need. And I will continue discussing these books on air. And y'all can read along. You could join Fable to join the conversation. You can hop on Zoom with me once a month by joining my Patreon. Or you can continue to just listen along on this here podcast. And you can, join the conversation with me on social media if you like. But it's plenty of ways to get involved. If you're someone that's interested in joining our in-person book club meetings, the best way to stay in the mix is to subscribe to my newsletter. I always post the information on how to RSVP for the upcoming book club meeting on my website, on my newsletter. So you have to be subscribed. We did it this way because we want to keep the book club meeting intimate and to make sure that we have, good people in the space that are reading the books and vibing and, subscribing to my newsletter and just being in the know and being in my pipeline. That helps us filter out people who are serious and want to join and want to participate and who will show up and be good members of the community. And like I said, the conversations have been so great. And I think that's because it's been intimate and we've had a chance to get to know each other and the community is forming. So please, if you're interested and you want to join the book club meetings, like subscribe to my newsletter and the information will be in there. Okay? But yeah, y'all, I am 10 episodes in. 10 episodes in. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is 10 weeks. Okay? You know how many people have plans to start things and for whatever reason talk themselves out of it and they never actually get the project going and never get started with it. So I'm just excited that I'm doing the damn thing. Okay? And it's working. That's it. All right? So, something else that I wanted to talk to y'all today. I feel like there's just been a lot of conversation around art and criticism and money and public opinion regarding art. And I feel like the negative criticism that people have around people's art is contributing to the loss of creativity that we're experiencing. Okay, especially in the book space and music, everything. Because people are putting out the art, but they want to make money. So they're trying to make art that they know will make money. And that is when we lose creativity because when you're trying to cater to what's trending, to what's popular, to the needs of the public, you as a visionary have a vision for things. You have been given the gift of being a creator. Not everybody can create. I think sometimes as an artist, as a creator, we take that for granted, that this is a blessing. Some people sit around all day and can't generate individual thoughts, independent ideas. That's why ChatGPT is so popular. People are losing their ability to think as an individual, to be imaginative, to come up with original ideas and original thought. That is a blessing. Whether you get the ideas in your dreams, where you get inspiration from somewhere else, but if you're coming up with something that's so unique and creative, it may not always land because people don't always have the vision that you have. Art used to be very experimentative. People would come up with things and experiment with things and then share it, and they may not understand the art. They may not get the vision or understand your creativity, but you wanted to express yourself this way and you chose to put it out this way. And it's a reflection of you and the emotions you were feeling at the time, the thoughts that you have, your lived experiences, your values, your beliefs. Art made a statement about who you are as a person and, the things that led you to this moment in time. When people are trying to create art that's appealing to the masses, that may not necessarily be what is a reflection of you and your creativity. And I think that a lot of people have a fear around sharing these original thoughts and this creativity because they don't know if it'll sell. They don't know if people will like it because it's not what's trending right now. They don't know if it'll land well, and people will understand it. And I think that all of that's contributing to the loss of creativity that a lot of people have been commenting on. Like everything feels the same recycled tropes, the same recycled storylines. But if they know that those tropes are popular and that's what's gonna sell and that's what the algorithm is catering to, like people also want to make money. It's a risk putting out a piece of art that you don't know if it's gonna sell or be marketable just for creativity's sake, just because it's a reflection and expression of your creativity. You really have to take a leap of faith by sharing your art and putting your art out there, which is why I will always be pro author. Okay, I will always be pro author. I think it's very brave for people to spend all this time creating stories and writing things and being brave to share that with us, especially in the era that we're living in now, when there's just so much criticism online and people are critiquing things, and you really don't know how people are going to perceive the art that you've put out. Also, with the parasocial relationships that we're seeing because of social media, it is a risk. We've seen a lot of authors become attacked. Like I've seen the author of Yes, Professor Hendricks. I forget her name. It's Kim. I want to say her name is C. Kim, but the author of Yes, Professor Hendricks changed a part of her book because she was getting so much backlash for what she wrote in her book and people were DMing her, she mentioned, and she felt like she was like low key being bullied online because of this book that she put out, that she felt pressure to change it. One, I don't think she should have changed it, honestly. Girl, this show art. They will deal. Art is very subjective. What one person hates, another person will love. So, also, when you're creating art, you never know who it may resonate with. And you never know that the story that you have to tell, your unique voice, there's somebody out there that's like really desperate to read that wants that representation or wants that spin on what you're doing, that's really craving what you have to share. Okay. So just because it may not land well with one population, there may be a population of people that will love it and that will rock with it. So I think also as an artist, you have to understand like who's your target demographic? Who are you writing this for? Who are you making this for? Who are you publishing this for? Because it may not land with everybody. I just think about Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, so y'all may not know. I told y'all that I love women's hip hop. And I often talk about women's hip hop on my podcast because this is my shit and it's something I'm passionate about and I love it. And I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. Okay. But I love women's hip hop and Megan Thee Stallion is like one of my favorite rappers. I love her. I hope y'all hear me. I love her. Y'all can never make me hate Meg. Can never. I will never get tired of Megan shaking her ass because I wish I could do that. I've been obsessed with twerking since twerking was twerking. Do y'all remember the twerk team? I used to watch the twerk team on YouTube and be in my house practicing trying to move my ass like them girls. It could never do it. I don't know how Meg does what she can do because I can't. I don't know how to get my ass to do that. And God know what he was doing because if I knew how to move my butt like Megan, y'all wouldn't be able to tell me nothing, okay? I don't know. I'm convinced the people who are on the internet writing all these think pieces about Meg and how she hasn't evolved as an artist and how she a one trick pony and they tired of her shaking her ass, gotta be haters. Because if I could do that, y'all would see me do it all day. Because it's like an Olympic sport. I have yet to see anybody move their ass like Megan. And you think a talent like that needs to be concealed under baggy pants and hidden in the dark? No, we need to see that. Also, the athleticism that is involved in her twerking and moving her ass like that. Come on. The muscle isolation, the core stability, the arm, like everything. Y'all see how my girl be in the gym? And she been in the gym for a long time. I used to watch them Hottie Boot Camp videos on YouTube. My girl been in the gym. The culmination of her work that she's put in to developing her physique, like I understand her desire for wanting to show it off because it's art, baby. I love looking at Megan Thee Stallion. She's beautiful. And I admire her physique and her muscles and just how like, when I go and work out or if I'm going for a run or I'm doing anything physically athletic, I listen to Meg. Her music is filled with so many affirmations about you, like and I think that's where people were lost on Lover Girl. I think they thought that she got with Clay and she was finna switch up and become a trad wife. The song was about how he loves her. She still censored herself because ain't no man bigger than the program, baby. She love him. She do, but I'm still Megan Thee Stallion. I'm still that bitch that I was before he met me. Why she gotta switch up and put out soft, R&B girly music now that she got her a man? The criticism that she's receiving online don't make no sense to me. I'm being real. And if you don't like the song, cool. It's a lot of things I don't like. It's some books I read that I don't like, but I don't go on the internet bashing them. Because even though I may not like the art that you put out, I can still respect the fact that you shared it and that you created it. It's difficult writing a book. I actually low key want to be an author. That's part of the reason why I love to read. And I have a desire to write books, but it is not easy getting these ideas and thoughts out of your head onto a piece of paper. And then getting over that fear of criticism and people not liking what you created, working past that to publish your work and opening yourself up for the criticism. You got to have a thick skin in this day and age. It's plenty of people out here right now that are talented, that won't record the content, that won't put themselves out there, that won't publish the videos because they're afraid of what people are going to say. And I think that all of this criticism is really stifling people's creative processes because they're terrified of sharing their voice and sharing their art because, they're not prepared for what y'all may say. And I think it's wild to be hating on people for doing things that you can't do, that you can't do. It doesn't make sense to me. And we've seen this in all types of industries. I remember when people were like really criticizing the WNBA and women basketball players. People were talking about them like they're not real athletes, things like that. But you don't hear other basketball players saying this about women basketball players because they know what it takes to be out there on the court playing those games every night. There's a certain level of respect that comes when you know what it takes to do what someone else does because you do it, and you'll never criticize it. I think that's so wild to me that people who cannot do what you do get all the things to say about it. Then you get up there and you try it. You get up there and you do it. It's not that easy. So I don't know. I love the song. I love the video, but I am biased because Megan could rap the alphabet and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's my girl. She can do no wrong in my eyes. I am a fan. But the hotties, the people who really support her, she puts music out for us. If you're not really a Meg fan, then you may not know that she had a song Fell in Love on her last album that I feel like Lover Girl is just a continuation of that. And that song was way more raunchier. The fact that y'all was talking about how the song was too raunchy, do y'all listen to Meg? And keep your opinions to yourself because some of us love that ratchet shit. Some of us love that raunchy shit. I listen to Sexy Red. She raunchy too. What I don't understand is how y'all can support some of these other women rappers and the bars that they be dropping and then got the nerve to call Meg raunchy for saying pop your pussy for your man. Is it because y'all don't got men? I don't even date men. And I'm in here popping my pussy, okay? I think this is the perfect song for you to do like a lap dance or a chair dance or a pole dance or a floor dance, some type of sensual movement for your partner. Okay? Look, I was taking some dance classes a couple years ago when Cookie's Dance Den was thriving, okay? Because I feel like she moved in a different direction. But, me and my girl Sam took some classes at Cookie's Dance Den. And then there was another girl in my network, Miss Deja. She was doing dance classes and teaching us how to do sensual movement. And I've always loved that, okay? Being really in tune with your sexuality and, knowing how to move your body sensually and stuff. That's what the Lover Girl song is giving you. That's a song you put on so you could go and do a little strip tease and pop your pussy for your bae. Okay, so I'm just convinced that y'all are lonely, miserable, unhappy people and can't appreciate a fun, sensual song. Okay? I don't know. But just like some people love it, some people hate it, and we see that across all art forms. Okay? So there are authors out there that are putting out books, and I think that sometimes people will focus so much on the negative criticism and completely ignore the fact that there were some people that loved it. There were some people that loved it and enjoyed it and appreciated what you put out. And that's all I want is for these authors and for these musicians and for these artists and these creatives to find the people who actually love your shit because we exist. I'm not a harsh critic. Okay? If a book made me laugh, I giggled a little bit, okay, shed a tear, it made me feel something. There was a character that I could connect to and it had a good storyline. I like the books. I just like to read. I'm very open. I'm very liberal, okay? And I'm very pro author. I just appreciate the fact that y'all took the time to write this and share your art and your voice with the world. A couple episodes ago, me and my girl saying, we was cracking jokes about the audiobook narrators and the narrator, hopped on my post and was like, "Look, this is why I got into audiobook narration and listen to my book but go easy on me because I'm new to this." And I was like, girl, low key, I am not a harsh critic. I'm just grateful that you're adding some diversity to the space and sharing your voice. And I feel that way about so many things, but I'm an artist. I'm a creator. And I understand how difficult that is. And I will never, never over criticize somebody for sharing their art with us. And so these authors that are feeling pressure to change their writing, to change their books and things like that because of the backlash that they may have, received from the public, unless your book is causing harm, and y'all are already doing a lot. Y'all add in trigger warnings and disclaimers so the reader can look at the book and decide if this is something they even want to read. I already feel like y'all doing a lot. Y'all doing all of that to manage expectations before people even read your book. I feel like that's enough, okay? So if you had this idea and you wanted to share this story with the world and you wanted to put this art out there, trust that it will find the people that it was meant for. And, don't focus so much on the negative criticism. There are some people out there that will love the art that you share. So if you are somebody who has a desire to create, that wants to put, that makes art, whatever it is, and you're afraid to share that shit, share it. Okay, because I've been doing this podcast for 10 weeks. Okay, 10 episodes, and it has not been perfect. And I told y'all we were focused on progress, not perfection, but it hasn't been perfect. And I'm still seeing growth and opportunity, and my ideas come to fruition. And that's because I had the bravery to put myself out there and to do this thing. And it's not easy. Staying consistent and making sure I stay on top of my stuff, it's not easy, but I'm doing it. And I just want to encourage you all to do that as well. Okay? So I don't care if you're a Megan Thee Stallion naughty. That's what she been calling the people, the naughties. But I'm a hottie and I'm a ride for my girl. Okay? I like the damn song and I like the video and it's been on repeat since it's dropped. Okay? And I'm going to put me together a sensual routine and be out here busting it open and popping my pussy for my wife. Okay? And I encourage y'all to do the same. And if y'all come across a book or a piece of art that you don't like, you cannot like it in peace. Y'all don't need to go on the internet bashing these motherfuckers and tagging them in negative reviews and sliding in people's DMs, cussing them out for something that you didn't understand the vision and you didn't like it. It's okay to not like things, but you cannot like things respectfully. And what I would encourage you to do, if you are somebody that is not an artist and you're not creating things, perhaps try and do the thing before you go on the internet bashing somebody. Let's see you try it first. Let's see you do it. Okay? But I'm also someone, I don't think that things are above critique. I like to interact with my media. Okay? So I am going to discuss it. I am going to digest it, dissect it, talk about it, yap about it. But like I said, you cannot like things and dislike it respectfully. Y'all be so disrespectful about it. Like these people aren't humans. Like they don't have feelings and emotions. Okay? And people are out here like no longer publishing their books and not putting out their art because they're afraid of the backlash they may receive. And that's crazy to me. So we're losing out on so much good art and so much creativity because of this fear of being perceived. And we all got to get to the point where we just don't give a fuck. Okay. As long as you like it, that's got to be enough. As long as you liked it. And I know you want to make money and all these things, but sometimes it's okay to just do art for art's sake, because there's somebody out there that may like it that's like really waiting on your unique voice and your unique spin on things, that wants exactly what you have to offer. And I just need you to be brave enough to share that gift with the world, whatever it is. All right? Well, happy 10th episode to me. Thank you all so much for the support that you've given me over the weeks. Thank you for the love and just the listens and the streams and the follows and the likes and the shares and all the things. Thank you for tuning in to the Book Lovers Club. If you love today's episode, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a chapter. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review, because you know those reviews help other lovers find us. So if you want to keep this conversation going, please join me on Instagram or hop on over to Fable to join the virtual book club. And until next time, remember, the stories we read can help us write the love lives of our dreams. See you next Sapphic Saturday.